and it comes across because, I mean, it was generally fairly chaotic. He's quite a kind of a panicky bloke. I mean, he was in more of a panic about it than I was, and I didn't even know any of the bloody songs. You know, I think it was like the thought I was going to go in the middle of it and go, I'm not playing anymore. You go, you know, you carry on. But he has, I don't know, some sort of relation to his audience that I don't think I've ever seen anyone else have. I mean, definitely Ian hadn't it, you know.
So out of all the singers you've worked with, apart from Gillan, what's your favourite singer?
Di Снайдера.
Yeah?
Oh yeah, he's awesome. He is just, and I mean, he's judged on being a tiny bit of a cartoon because of the twist, this kind of imagey thing, you know. He's just such an incredible singer, incredible on stage. I mean, his command of an audience and his ability to kind of get an audience going, he's incredible. He's just like, I mean, you know, he genuinely is a 100% talented guy, and that generally isn't true of most singers or most people who are in bands generally, you know, including me. You know, I mean, he's awesome. He's just awesome. I mean, you know.
How long did you play with him?
We only ever did one gig, but we spent 2 years farting around, writing songs and recording it. It was I mean, it was. He's continual entertainment, you know, but he has that American thing of rehearsing. You know, everything is rehearsed and rehearsed and rehearsed and rehearsed. And I mean, I don't personally go for that at all. I think that, you know, the Pistols and the Rolling Stones and chaos has a charm, you know. Accidents are good. Accidents are the best, you know. And I think we over-rehearsed it. I personally feel. Please forgive me, Dee, if you see this. I am totally unworthy. You are right, but.
Now, you've been quoted as saying you've not been totally happy with anything you've recorded. Is that true?
Yeah, I hate everything I've ever done, really.
Why?
I don't know, really. I mean, if I put on something that I think is great, you know, from B.B. King, Hendrix, you know, a lot of people, you know, I mean, diverse people. I don't think that you can see it in what you do. It's a completely different experience. I mean, you know, for an awful lot of the things I've liked the most are the things I've been trying to kind of imitate. Stay a solo I like. I mean, the Jeff Beck's solo on Tapes of Things is a classic. I mean, I've kind of like tried to do something approximately in that line again and again and again, because it's just wonderful, you know, clever and but I don't actually think, if I hear it, well, I mean, you know, the original's the best. So it's probably, I mean, I have occasionally done things that I've heard after a long period of time, and I've thought, that's all right, you know. But it hasn't any hasn't any real emotional impact for me.
As you get older, how do you maintain the energy and enthusiasm for the business?
I haven't any energy or enthusiasm at all for the business. I hate the business. The music I love. It's entirely the music and playing. And I don't play enough at the moment because over the past few years it hasn't been as easy to get out and gig as a few years ago.
I mean, is that because you're a family man now with 3 kids? I mean,
yeah. I mean, definitely. You know, that's a problem. There is also the problem of the venues. There isn't a great amount of places.
No.
There's also the kind of problem of, you know, having to make it pay, because it has to pay, you know, so you're stuck in the job of, you know, doing a job that I really don't enjoy, you know, which is, you know, sorting out how the finances of it operate, you know, people are paid, and I've got no interest in it. I just want to play. You know? I mean, it's like, and you know, to be honest, I'm hoping that John and I and Nick have a chance to go out and play. That'd be nice. But on one level, I've played enough. You know, there's an area of repetition that I do not enjoy. If I go out as, you know, the Bernie Tormé thing, there are tracks that I have to play that I have been playing for 20 plus years, at least, you know, 25 in some cases. I don't really have the kind of personality or the makeup that enjoys that. I enjoy doing new, I enjoy jamming, but I mean, you go out and you know, have to turn out the lights, you know, all of the kind of the same things, and it's okay at times, but
Right, now you're currently working on a project with John Maccoy and Mick Underwood of Gillan. You haven't worked together for 20 years, so how are things progressing?
Well, it's hard because all of us live far apart, you know, so that isn't easy. It's been great in terms of personal relationships because we all know each other. We've all had our arguments and our disagreements, and you know, we're all a lot calmer and older now, you know, which helps, I think. We're all really totally into playing and music, you know. In the past, you know, there was obviously a fair amount of ego. I mean, not on my part, you understand, but on everybody else's. But you know, I mean, it's and it, you know, there was all of that jockeying for position, and that's changed, you know, because I mean, who cares? I mean, just who cares? Really, it's been awfully enjoyable. It's really an attempt to try to go back to something that John and I did prior to Gillan. It's jammy and getting songs out of riffs and jams. I mean, it's a very 60s approach, actually. It isn't kind of bringing in the baby and saying, oh, I have a good song here, it goes la la la. It's having it grow organically and having everyone agree on it, you know. I mean, if, you know, everyone isn't happy, it's it isn't a choice. It's only a choice if everybody is happy about it.
So is the project working towards an album release?
Yeah, hoping to. Yeah. I mean, it's yes, but it's we kind of try not to present it in those terms. It's about playing, you know, and hopefully an album will grow out of it, and hopefully a gig or two will happen. That'd be nice, you know.
But what would you call the material now? I mean, what if you had to put a
noisy?
Yeah.
No, I don't know. I mean, it's very kind of. I suppose. I mean, it's definitely rock. It's definitely heavy. It's quite. You know, man, for want of a better word, you know, it's kind of like man. It's quite psychedelic-ish in ways. I mean, you know, not in a cheapo like, you know, Paisley kind of a way, but it is harking back to that period, you know, which really all of us like, you know.
Yeah. So what have been the low points of your time in the business, would you say?
Oh, so many, so little time. I suppose I had a low point in the early 90s after D, because I got ill. And for quite a long time, 4 years, I probably didn't play.
For 4 years?
Yeah. And I was so sick and tired of the music business and its crassness and its opportunism and its kind of just obsession with all things tacky and finance and you know, and in terms of image, you know, I mean, God knows, you know, I have been a part of that, you know, but I mean, it's just like, well, at the end of the day, it isn't what's important. It's like the music, you know, and the Wild Irish album, I suppose, was my step out again, you know. I mean, it was, and it was an attempt to be, I suppose, simpler, because I kind of don't really kind of see that music has changed, you know. I mean, the problem about the business is that the business is fashion driven. It always has been. It is pop. I mean, you know, it isn't like, you know, and I actually think that what was a good record in 1955 is a good record now, you know? And people saying, oh no, you know, something, you know, it's all changed. I mean, it's complete utter crap, you know? I mean, what was good still is, you know?
Let's just quickly talk about your guitars. I mean, would you call yourself a guitar collector?
Not at all, no.
You're not, so you don't look at the guitar as something to collect. It's not.
No, it's
just something you use.
To be played.
Just something you use, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I have, I suppose, about 8 or 9 or 10. I don't even know, but I mean, I play all of them. And they are different in that, you know, I'll have an electric 12 string, and you know, after I like kind of get into my 8 miles high phase, I'll take out the electric 12 string and crucify 8 miles high. But I mean, I'm a player. I haven't any interest at all in collecting them.
But have you kept a guitar from your earliest playing days? I mean,
Yeah. I've had it since I really. I've had it since about 1968.
Right.
And I bought it for £52 in Dublin.
And what is it?
It's an L series Stratocaster. It's worth a reasonable amount now, I'm sure. But it's it's the part of my life,
Is there sentimental reasons you keep it then, or not?
No, it sounds good.
Oh, right.
I play it and the Bluey. And the Bluey I was given as a present from Ozzy. And those are the guitars I play, really. On stage, those are...
And do you use the same guitar setup on stage as you do in the studio?
Yeah.
You do?
I'm terribly, unimaginative and kind of boring. An awful lot of people are clever and inventive in terms of amps, and I'm just a Marshall, and either a Marshall cab or a Heimport cab or two cabs. And it can increase if it's open air or whatever. But I just like playing loud. I'm a loud player, I suppose. Which is, again, a pretty old school thing, because younger bands don't tend to play loud. Gillan was absolutely fucking deafening. It was so loud, and it had the roll off the stage. It was just like great though. It was really enjoyable because it was tight too.
So finally, Bernie, what do you have planned for the future?
Well, I have a solo album I've been working on for the past 2 years that I'm probably going to chuck in the bin because I'm just tired of it. Really, John and Nick, I'm planning on recording that and moving on with that. I also have a project to do a blues album with Phil Spalding, which I hope happens. It's in the off thing. Basically, I'm a lazy person, Steve. I enjoy, recording, but working, I don't like it.
Well, it's been great talking to you. Thanks very much, Bernie.
Cheers, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.